Good morning, everyone. The title of today's message is Your Story Isn't Finished. Let me say that one more time. Your story isn't finished. Sometimes life has a way of convincing us that we've reached the end. After a difficult diagnosis, after losing someone we love, after retirement, after a financial setback, after battling anxiety or depression, after years of managing diabetes or another chronic illness, we may begin to wonder if our best days are behind us. We may even ask ourselves, what purpose do I have now? But today, I want you to know that as long as you're breathing, your story is still being written. You're not at the end of your story. You are simply in another chapter. Every great story has difficult chapters. Think about your favorite book. Does it begin and end with everything going perfectly? No. Every great story has challenges. Every great story has moments of uncertainty. Every great story has obstacles that seem impossible to overcome. If there were no struggles, there would be no growth. If there were no obstacles, there would be no triumph. Life is the same way. Some chapters are filled with joy. Others are filled with heartbreak. Some chapters make us laugh. Others make us cry. But one difficult chapter does not mean the story is over. Seniors have already written amazing chapters. When I look at seniors, I don't just see age. I see experience. I see wisdom. I see perseverance. I see people who have survived things many others never had to face. You have lived through change. You have worked hard. You have raised families. You have overcome disappointments. You have celebrated victories. You have buried loved ones. You have survived illnesses. Every chapter has helped shape the remarkable person you are today. And because you've made it this far, I believe there are still more chapters ahead. Anxiety is not the final chapter. Some of you may struggle with anxiety. Anxiety often tells us that tomorrow will be worse than today. It fills our minds with fear and uncertainty. But anxiety does not get to write your story. You do. Every time you choose courage over fear, every time you keep moving forward, every time you take one more step, you are writing another chapter of resilience. Don't let anxiety convince you that your story is over. It isn't. Depression is not the end of the book. Depression has a way of making people feel like hope has disappeared. It whispers, nothing will ever change. You have nothing left. It's over. But depression is not the author of your life. There are still pages waiting to be written. There are still smiles waiting to be shared. There are still people waiting to be encouraged by your story. One difficult season does not erase a lifetime of purpose. Keep turning the page. Diabetes is part of your story, not your identity. Many seniors live with diabetes. Managing diabetes can be tiring. It requires daily discipline, healthy eating, exercise, medication, regular checkups. But diabetes is one chapter of your life. It is not the entire book. You're more than your blood sugar numbers. You're more than a diagnosis. You are a person with dreams, wisdom, relationships, and purpose. Don't allow one chapter to define your entire story. Your experiences have prepared you. Sometimes we wonder why we've had to go through so much. But often, our greatest struggles become our greatest teachers. Your pain has taught compassion. Your losses have taught appreciation. Your disappointments have taught perseverance. Your failures have taught humility. Your victories have taught gratitude. Everything you've experienced has prepared you to encourage someone else. Never underestimate the value of your journey. Someone needs your story. There's someone who needs to hear how you survived. Someone needs to know that healing is possible. Someone needs to hear that hope still exists. Someone needs to hear that they can keep going because you kept going. Your testimony has power. Your life has meaning. Your experiences matter. Sometimes your greatest purpose is simply sharing your story with someone who is about to give up. Every new day is a new page. Every morning is a blank page. You get to decide what you will write. Will today be filled with gratitude? Will today be filled with kindness? Will today be filled with hope? Will today be filled with forgiveness? The past cannot be rewritten, but today gives you another opportunity, another page, another chapter, another chance. Keep dreaming. One mistake some seniors make is believing they're too old to dream. You're never too old to dream. Never too old to learn. Never too old to laugh. Never too old to travel. Never too old to help someone. Never too old to grow. Life doesn't stop because you've reached a certain age. As long as you're alive, there are still possibilities ahead. Faith keeps the story going. There will be chapters we don't understand. Moments that leave us asking, why? But faith reminds us that the story isn't over. Faith reminds us that even difficult chapters have purpose. Faith gives us strength to keep turning the page. Many of you can look back over your lives and say, I didn't know how I would get through that season, but somehow I did. That wasn't by accident. Faith carried you then, and faith will carry you now. Don't quit in the middle of the story. Imagine reading a book and stopping halfway through. You would never know how it ended. Don't do that with your life. Don't give up because this chapter is difficult. Don't stop believing because this season is painful. Keep reading. Keep living. Keep hoping. The best chapter may still be ahead. As I close today, I want every one of you to remember these words. Your story isn't finished. If you're breathing, you still have purpose. If you're breathing, someone still needs your wisdom. If you're breathing, there are still memories to make. There are still people to love. There are still dreams to pursue. There are still lives to touch. Never let a difficult chapter convince you that the book is over. Keep writing your story with courage. Keep writing it with gratitude. Keep writing it with faith. Keep writing it with hope. Because one day, when you look back over your life, you'll realize that the chapters you thought would defeat you became the chapters that made you stronger. Remember, your story isn't finished. The next chapter could be your best one yet. Thank you. May God bless each of you. And never forget, as long as God gives you another day, He is still writing your story. Every move matters. Have a great day, everyone.